Hi Aries, welcome to your July 2018 tarot reading. We have a Celtic cross spread in front of us, which is typically a 10 card spread, but you did get an extra card in a position of past and in a position of present. This looks like it's going to be primarily pointing to finances and career, and I believe last month you had messages about proceeding with caution with financial proceedings, so let's take a look at these cards. In the position of the main situation, we have the High Priestess. That's a major arcana card. Usually when I see this card, I do think of Pisces, so you could be dealing with a Pisces. But if this is more talking about yourself, it could be saying that you need to trust your intuition. It could also be that you're dealing with an intuitive person. Maybe you've reached out to someone to get a tarot reading. That's also a possibility. But primarily, with this being the main card, most likely this is saying for you to get in touch with your intuition and trust it. The main thing that I think about when I look at the artwork in this card is you see the woman sitting there and there's the moon in front of her. To me, that signifies very much being aware of your emotions, but also having a firm grasp of them as well, having control over them. So that's the main takeaway that I get from that. I should also point out, given the challenge card, you might also be just thinking about moving towards something more intuitive, whether it's starting a new project in that regard, or possibly even pursuing a career where you would use that. In the challenger obstacle position, we have the Three of Pentacles. This is actually a Capricorn card, and to me, what this could be saying as a challenge position for you is that maybe you're trying to get an intuitive project off the ground and, it's sticking right now. It might not be taken off as quickly as you would like, but if you keep working at it, you should actually see some positive results. And even if it's not an actual situation, just saying that either you're dealing with someone who's like this or you need to be more like that. The challenge is to work at it, but it would pay off. This is the card of building something stable that you're satisfied with. In the position of the foundation, we have the Four of Pentacles. So this could mean that you might have had financial difficulties in the past and you're still, watching your money because of that. Could also be saying that you're considering shifting gears. Like I said, maybe if you're trying to move into a more intuitive career direction, maybe you're thinking of pursuing something like tarot, for example, and maybe that's what you're considering. Do you have the money to invest in it? Or just thinking about, maybe even if you do already have the money for it, you're thinking over, is it worthwhile, or should you stay the course if you're in a more traditional career? Or maybe try to take both of them on. That's also a possibility. If this is all relationship related as well, though, I should mention that. If that's someone you're dealing with, or you're just dealing with someone in general and you're trying to trust your intuition and working at it, could be saying that you're feeling closed off right now in an emotional regard. In the past position, we got two cards, and that's the Five of Pentacles and the Eight of Swords. So these are both fairly difficult cards, but the good thing is they are in the past, and moving on as we get towards the future, it definitely looks like your reading improves as a whole. But this could be saying a few things. It could be saying because you're feeling this way, if you are having financial difficulties, you're reluctant to move forward, or again, this is in a past position, so maybe you were reluctant to move forward because of this financial difficulty. If it's a relationship, same thing. If you were struggling with your relationship, it could have you feeling stuck right now. If these were timelines, this is also the card of the first 10 degrees of Gemini. So it might be saying that you were feeling this way around the last week of May. Maybe that's when it first started, where you encountered these difficulties, or at least where you were feeling it the most. Whether that's relationships or finances. Like I said, for most of you, I feel this is really finances and career, but not everyone's concerned with that, I'm sure. So for those of you, if it's love, same kind of concept. Could just be that you were feeling left out on an emotional sense and feeling stuck. In the position of the present, we have two cards there as well, and they both came up in reverse. And that's the Page of Pentacles and the Page of Swords. Now, to me, the page is usually some form of communication, usually brought forward by a person, so it doesn't necessarily have to be a person that's an air sign and a earth sign. It could just be communications regarding a financial start. And with both of these in the reverse, I feel that there was some kind of deception going on there. Maybe an offer that was made to you was withdrawn. That's one way that this could go with these two cards in the reverse. Another possibility is maybe someone overhyped how good of an offer they were giving you, and then it turned out to not have as much substance as you thought once you got into it. That's certainly a possibility, but both of these cards in the reverse tell me that there was something that you might have thought had some substance to it, and it ended up fizzling out, and that could be a relationship as well. Like I said, it might not have even been outright deception. It could have just been you perceived an offer to be better than it was. That's certainly a possibility. But with both of these cards in the reverse, that's what I'm feeling most likely, was there was some kind of offer made that maybe sounded better than it ended up being, if it wasn't outright deception. All right. And now in the near future card, and this is definitely a good thing, you have the Queen of Wands in the upright. Now, the Queen of Wands is actually my Aries card. The Queens are usually the cardinal energies, and Aries is the cardinal fire sign. So for this to be coming up in the near future, it's saying maybe if you were in a fog for a while, feeling stuck and down and out financially, you should be getting back on top of things this month. So that's definitely a good thing there. It could be you're dealing with another Aries or another fire sign as well. It's certainly a possibility, but I'm really getting the vibe that this is saying you getting back to getting on top of things, and that's definitely good. And we also, I almost forgot to mention, we do have the Magician at the bottom of the deck. So that also could be saying that your powers and ability to manifest right now are at high. I also view that as the South Node card personally. So the South Node right now is transiting Aquarius, and it's hanging out with Mars. So you might be starting something with friends, maybe even an old friend. I think we had that message last month as well, that an old friend might have been bringing you an offer. If that's the case and you're still mulling it over, I get a vibe that it would turn out well, so you might want to consider that. And of course, obviously, that could be just any kind of relationship where someone from the past is coming back around. In the position of your influence on the situation, we have the Eight of Pentacles. So this is telling me that you're either ready to get back to work, or you are getting back to work. Maybe you're just working hard on something. If it is, let's say, a project you were working on, you're making progress with that now. This is actually also a Virgo card as well, and Venus will be in Virgo. Virgo is your sixth house, which is a work house to a certain extent, so this could definitely be saying that if you are starting some kind of new work, it should go very well for you with that energy mixing in. And then in the position of the environment, we have the Two of Cups. So for those of you who are hoping for more relationship information in the reading, this could certainly mean that someone's making an offer to you on a romantic level. Doesn't always have to mean that though. This is actually the first 10 degrees of Cancer too. So if you receive some type of offer or information in the very last week of June, I'm actually recording this on the 29th. So if you receive an offer, we're actually in that first 10 degrees of Cancer as I'm recording this. If you received an offer during that time, it should definitely be a positive one. This could also be saying that what you do have getting off the ground, considering that we have that line symbol there and the symbol that some view as a Mercury symbol, Could be saying that you're going to receive communication about something really taking off around the time of Leo, which starts at the end of the month. So that's another possibility there. Whether it's a romantic relationship, a new creative project, any type of partnership, it looks like it will be going well. In your hopes or fears position, we have the King of Wands. And like I was saying, I think last month you guys had this card in the position of the environment. So you could just be hoping to reconnect with that Leo if it's the same person. This is usually my Leo card, but it could be any fire sign. Could be hoping for you to. Maybe you're hoping for some kind of progress to be made and seen around the time of Leo, which would be towards the end of the month. That's another possibility. And with Leo representing your fifth house, again, if this is going back to creative project, maybe you've had, let's say you had writer's block or something random like that if you're trying to write a book or something. This is saying you're hoping to get back on track. And I mean, there are definitely some stickier cards towards the past energy and even the present, but it looks like moving forward things are definitely going to improve for you, so you should be okay if that's the case. And in the outcome position we have the Death card. So this is the major arcana card for Scorpio. So this could mean a few things. Obviously it could be saying if you were in that financial difficulty or relationship struggle, if it was a romantic relationship or struggle with family even, let's say, that could be coming to an end now. The sun is in your fourth house, which is the house of family, and then we're also having a new moon partial solar eclipse going on there, so this could certainly be saying maybe if this was family relationships that were strained a bit, although I don't really see that there. If that's the case, it should be mended. But yeah, seeing the Death card here with all the surrounding cards, I definitely don't see this as a bad thing. It should just be saying an end of those difficulties you were going through, whatever they were, or the end of a project maybe and starting a new one. That's certainly a possibility. Alright. And now we do have an Oracle card as well to help tie everything together. And the card I pulled for you guys was Truth Be Told. And that's number 14 if that holds any significance for you. We'll take a look at the artwork for a second. Alright, and I'll read the message from the book there, then we'll tie everything together to wrap up. Okay, it says essential meanings: honesty, accepting things at face value, coming out of denial, the willingness to be transparent, clarity of communication. So, right off the bat, that makes me think of the High Priestess card as far as coming out of denial, starting to trust your intuition more if you've been avoiding that. With the Four of Pentacles there, if you've been feeling closed off, this might be saying now it's time to open up a bit. The Oracle's message: there is the truth, which is the essence of a thing, and then there is a truth, subjective according to the philosophy of the adherent or believer. This is not a time for debate about which truth is truer. This is a time when you are called to proclaim your truth out loud and be willing to be transparent, honest, and open in your communication with others and with yourself. Nothing less than surrender to what is, peeling off the layers of denial that kept you tied to an illusion will set you free. Be authentic and gloriously flawed, and Spirit will answer with miracles. Okay, so again, that could be pointing perhaps to a conflict. Like I said, if there was some kind of conflict you had going on in the past, maybe that's what it's referring to. But again, it's saying to proclaim your truth out loud. I don't typically see that as an issue for Aries, but like I said, everything, it does look like there was some negative energies in the past, but it seems you're moving away from that as the month moves along, so that's definitely a good thing. Alright, and for those of you, if this did resonate on a romantic relationship angle, we have that message. It says, people tell you who they are very quickly if you're willing to listen to what they say and pay attention to how they behave. This card calls you to engage in heartfelt, open communication. It's time to see the truth about what you share with each other and tell the truth about who you are and what you need. No one can do that for you. Remember that your truth is always based in your personality and experience up to now. A higher truth will be found after you communicate honestly and see how doing so has helped you become more attuned to yourself. Don't hold back. Speak your truth and listen. So certainly, like we said there, with the Five of Pentacles, if that was relationship struggles you were going through in the past, and maybe it's saying the challenges, if you feel intuitively that you should repair it with them, let's say, get back to working on stabilizing it, you certainly have encouragement to do so there. Let's say that that's you putting in the work to repair a relationship if there were some issues. It should go well for you if that's the case. And, with the High Priestess again as well, that could be it too. Just saying, like I said, with the moon there, having a firm grasp of your emotions, but also being very aware of them and in tune with them. So maybe that's your challenge, to just communicate more emotionally, which I could see that might be a struggle for Aries sometimes. And lastly, we have a prosperity message for those of you if this resonated more as a financial reading. It says, are you willing to do whatever it takes to experience the prosperous life you desire? If you want to be an artist, do you make art your priority? If you want to be a healer, do you set time aside to learn new things to help you serve? A writer must write and a singer must sing. Being true to your calling is essential to your moving forward. There is another oracle message here too. It's time to have a look at the real, honest truth about your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs about prosperity, about your relationship to money, to compensation, and to meaningful work. Ask yourself, what is true for me? And you will find the key to abundance. So yeah, if this was financial rather, it sounds like it's saying there as well that maybe it is that you've been mulling over, you want to get into some type of intuitive work, or intuitively you want to move towards, let's say, working for yourself, or even just starting a side business. I think I even mentioned possible writer's block. If you're a writer, maybe you're working on a book, and it's asking you, if that's really what you want, are you dedicating the time it takes to that craft, whatever it may be? With the Eight of Pentacles here, this shows me it looks like you are ready now. With the Magician there, you have the ability to manifest. So if that's the case, it looks like all the messages lining up there to say, continue to move forward with that, and you should see it pay off. All right. We'll wrap up there. Talk to you all next month. All right. Bye.